before we get started, I thought we'd all have a little drink and make a toast to Rammstein, just to celebrate. Raise your glasses and close your eyes. Okay, you got your eyes closed, yeah? All right, just keep your eyes closed for a second. Keep those glasses raised. I'm gonna just come around and give my blessing. Can you keep your glasses raised, please? Can you raise your fucking Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. So Shelby Lynn. No, not Shelby Lynn. Shelby Lynn is the main person, the first person to talk about him doing something to her. So we're listening to a video explaining that and reacting here. So let's get going. Oh, excuse me.
Lee shattered some whiskey glasses and then took a tequila shot with everyone. Shelby says that
Okay, yeah. So before the break, we found Shelby Lynn was interested. She's a hardcore Rammstein fan, and she went to one of their shows, and she found a way into the after party, which meant also going to the pre-party through some WhatsApp group. And so she's there at the pre-party, and Lynn Till asked kind of like summoned her presence to him, and she was worried that he wanted to get down that way, and she wanted to that was supposed to happen a bit later, I guess, because currently they're just drinking shots. Till's out there with them drinking, and she's asking her friend to not let her go by herself with him, because she warned her that girl, that's not friend but girl that she met at this thing, warned her that it was gonna be for the the sexies, and she doesn't want to do it. All right,
about half an hour after that, her memory got very blurry, and for the first half of the show, she felt, quote, like a human.
all right. So this is about 8 p.m. Shortly after this, Till leaves the room, and then the show begins. This is where my memory is just fucked, she says. Okay, and if your memory's just completely fucked, I don't know. I mean, drinking can do that, but also other things can do that, right? So everything up to the moment is so clear, and from about 8:30, my memories go zap. I'm like a human zombie, singing, dancing, but also stumbling and tripping.
Zombie.
What if
Oh,
we told you
shit,
that
with
the
these
hottest
fucking,
casino in town
commercials,
was
man.
actually
Get out of here!
your phone? It's true.
Singing, dancing, but also stumbling, tripping, dropping things.
All right,
Then
dropping
during
things.
intermission, she was brought
And before I know it, it's intermission. Time flew by so fast. I remember the girl that I think she meant to say warned her earlier, tried to keep me there, but Joe took her away. What the?
underneath
Joe
the
took me
stage
away,
into
she
a
said.
small room behind a curtain. She says it was like a changing room. Lindemann then came in, and because
Lindemann.
another girl had told her that these kinds of hangouts are in fact about sex, she immediately
Sex.
said that she's not interested in that, to
Not
which Till
interested.
apparently reacted very angrily and said
Oh.
that Joe told him she wanted to. He stormed out and told Shelby to wait there, so she waited a few minutes before she went back
See, I don't know how I feel about this Joe guy. I don't know. How's this camera? Should I just adjust this just a bit? It's fine.
to the concert. She remembers that a lot of the girls in row 0 were picked up about 2 songs before the show was over, and then the next thing she knows is being at the after party with the lead guitarist Richard Kruspe sitting right across from her. And even though she didn't have any more drinks, she ended up going to the bathroom to throw up, and then somehow made it back to her hotel, where she discovered a lot of really bad bruises on her body, and to this day,
Bruises,
she
okay.
doesn't know where these bruises came from. She
Well,
then
she was
spent the next
tripping and
couple of
falling
days
all over
in
the
her
place 'cause
hotel
she
room
drank too
with
much.
really bad symptoms that included hallucinating, shaking, cold sweats,
Well, that's not
freezing,
right.
and vomiting. She
That's
ended
not
up
right.
calling an ambulance
Hallucinations
and the police
generally doesn't
and did a
happen.
drug test on the second day, but nothing was detected. Despite that, she's convinced that she was spiked, as she says,
But no, yeah, that could be the hallucinations. Nothing was detected, but maybe,
meaning
I
that she
don't
was
know.
given some substance
not lady.
without her knowledge or consent. Her guess is that it may have been GHB, gamma hydroxybutyrate, because it seems to perfectly line up with her symptoms and the timeline of when she started acting weird and how long it lasted. Plus, any traces of the drug usually vanish within 12 hours, so that would explain
go.
the negative drug test. In one of her
Ah.
very first Instagram stories talking about this, she actually mentioned that at the pre-party, Till put a coaster on the tequila shot and then banged the glass onto the table to make it foam. But a few days later, she realized that tequila doesn't usually foam when you shake it, unless it's mixed with another substance. So that's what she assumes might have happened to her. Okay, so that was very
Yikes.
detailed, even though this was already a condensed version of it all, but a lot of the media coverage that followed
So the thing that makes me think is that Till was the one that did that banging, shaking motion, and that it foamed. I don't know. I don't know enough about drinking to know exactly why you would do that to tequila, but he was involved in that process. That's all.
This actually got Shelby's story twisted a bit, so I feel like it's important to understand what she said exactly, as this is the story that started this all and that paved the way for many, many other women to come forward. Because at this point, you might be thinking, well, she wasn't raped. She wanted to attend the backstage parties, and who knows why she really felt sick. But this story was...
But it's weird because even if there was no like sexual abuse, right? She was drugged. She drank something that wasn't what she thought it was, and it was somebody else put it in there, and it's something that makes you kind of lose track of what's going on. So it could have been not an attempted date rape, but definitely an attempt to like take away somebody's agency for your own, for whatever you wanted to do. It's weird. It's weird, right? I don't know how
really
I feel
just
about
one of many others that followed. Every story is a bit different. Some are harder to listen to than others,
I don't know.
but they all
Okay.
have something in common. Over the last few weeks, big German publications like Der Spiegel, Süddeutsche Zeitung,
Spiegel.
Die Welt, and the public broadcasting institution
Zeitung.
NDR have talked to dozens of women who, just like Shelby, have attended these parties.
Look at that. That's pretty much like I don't think anyone would. Yeah, I think everyone recognizes that art as being Till, although it's like
as well as people who have
It's
worked with
quite
Rammstein.
something.
Even though most of them are opting to stay anonymous at this time, the publications have checked the stories for plausibility with photos, videos, and text messages, and some of the interviewees even signed an affidavit, meaning they'd commit perjury if they lied. In addition to that, there are countless stories going around on social media platforms like Twitter, Reddit, and Instagram, most of them also anonymously. I'll link some of them in the info box below. And when you piece all of this together, it creates a picture of a well-oiled system where relatively young girls get recruited to these backstage parties under the pretense of getting to meet the band, or specifically to Lindemann, their idols, often without being told what the real purpose of this is. The German magazine Der Spiegel summarized the statements of one of their sources like this. Supposedly, the goal of this entire
Zu dieser Zeit war Sophie W. auch auf offiziellen Aftershow-Partys und traf dabei auch Elena Makiva. Es sei das Ziel des ganzen Systems gewesen, Lindemann mit Sexualpartnerinnen zu versorgen. Dafür seien Jungfrauen unter falschen Vorwänden zu Konzerten und anschließenden Partys eingeladen worden und für die sein Alkohol bereitgestellt worden.
Their system was to provide Lindemann with sex partners. For that reason, young women were invited to concerts and to after parties under false pretenses and provided alcohol. And the newspaper Die Welt writes, another source describes it like this.
Yeah, it's kind of like, hey, how are you all doing? Nice to see you. I'm glad you're here at our pre-party. We're glad to have you. My name is Till Lindman, and I will be your host tonight. And I'm looking forward to having a nice chat with each and every one of you. Before we get started, why don't we have some shots? Yeah, hold on. Yeah, before we get started, I thought we'd all have a little drink and make a toast to, the band, me, and the others in Rammstein. And just to celebrate, and you also, to toast us to celebrate you all being here with me. So raise your glasses and close your eyes. Okay, you got your eyes closed, yeah? All right, just keep your eyes closed for a second. Keep those glasses raised. I'm gonna just come around and give my blessing. Can you keep your glasses raised, please? Can you raise your fucking thank you? Yeah? Okay, there you go. All right. You can open your eyes now. Don't mind the fizzing. That's just part of it's just been in the freezer, so it's cold and it fizzes sometimes. It's just chemistry. All right, so drink up, girls, and then we'll have a chat. Okay? You're drinking. You're not drinking. Drink your drink, please. Thank you. All right, great, guys. Everyone's drinking your drinks. All right. Now take your clothes off.
It's an abusive system that's intended to provide Lindemann with quick sex. so quick that many women don't even have time to comprehend what's happening. One of the girls they talked to from another European country told them she believes that she was drugged at the show. She has huge memory gaps of the night, but she does remember having sex with Lindemann in his hotel room, which left her with vaginal bleedings afterwards. Süddeutsche Zeitung talked to
Oh my god. I hope that's not true. But it's weird. It's a weird thing to hope that it's not true. Because that means like I mean no, I hope that's not true. That's not a weird thing. I hope she's lying. For everybody, including hers own sake. I hope that that's just not true. Vaginal bleeding. What the fuck, man? What is this guy doing? Sounds like a monster now. Yikes. And it's a system. Holder drinks high.
A 20-year-old girl from Vienna who went to a Rammstein concert in 2019 where she was invited by Joe Letz to attend the official after party. That's where Alena Makeva then asked her if she wanted to meet Lindemann. She says, "Mir war schon bewusst, dass das alles eine sexuelle
No. Hey, I can do it. I can read it for myself. Thank you very much. Mir war schon bewusst, dass das alles eine sexuelle Komponente hat, aber ich bin nicht davon ausgegangen, dass irgendjemand etwas macht, was ich nicht will. Ja, sie habe ihn treffen wollen, nicht als einzige. Schon im Taxi seien sie mehrere gewesen und im Hotel dann noch mehr Frauen. Es habe auch im Hotel viele Alkohol gegeben. Sie haben getrunken, ihre Erinnerungen seien lückenhaft geworden. Lots of holes, dass sie neben Lindemann gegessen habe, dass sie mit ihm und einem anderen Mann in Aufzug gewesen sei. In an elevator. Aufzug. An elevator. Okay.
Komponente hat,
Ja.
aber ich bin nicht davon ausgegangen, dass irgendjemand etwas macht, was ich nicht will. She ended up at the hotel with a lot of other girls and a lot of alcohol, but she doesn't remember everything and says she must have passed out at some point. The newspaper writes, als sie wieder aufgewacht sei Till auf mir drauf gewesen. Ob er aufhören solle, habe er sie gefragt, als er gemerkt habe, dass sie wach geworden sei. Und sie habe nicht einmal gewusst, womit er aufhören wollte. The next day, she woke up in another room.
Ew.
She asked the crew if she could talk to Lindemann, and when they wanted to know
Stop,
why,
what?
she said, because she's not sure if he used a condom. Alena Makeva has been a
That's
prominent
fucked. But what did she actually say, apparently? So, als sie wieder aufgewacht sei Till auf mir drauf. So, Till was on top of him, or on top of her, sorry. Ob aufhören solle, hab sie gefragt. Okay, she asked if she should stop, als gemerkt habe, dass sie wach geworden sei. Und sie habe nicht einmal gewusst, womit aufhören wollte. Ew. So he asked, apparently, according to the story, he was on top of her doing stuff and asked if she should stop. She asked stop what, because she didn't know what he was talking about. Yucks.
auf mir drauf gewesen. Ob er aufhören solle, habe er sie
Okay,
gefragt,
sei dann irgendwann, and at some point he left.
als er gemerkt habe, dass sie wach geworden sei. Und sie habe nicht einmal gewusst, womit er aufhören wollte. The next day, she woke up in another room. She asked the crew if she could talk to Lindemann, and when they wanted to know why, she said, because she's not sure if he used a condom. Alena Makeva has been a prominent name in the last few weeks, and next to Till Lindemann himself, she's one of the
Alena Makeva, casting director with 57K followers, and your R+ story is like one of the things that she's
main
got.
faces of this case. Apparently, she's also sometimes referred to as
Instagram.
Aljona, and according to media reports, she's in her mid-30s, originally from a small village in Russia, and has made it her goal to be close to celebrities. In an old interview, she talked about how she regularly ends up at the hotel rooms of various musicians, and her Instagram photos show her with all
And it's like in that video, it's like she said she spent the whole day with him and also all night. I don't know if that's talking about Till. Yeah, it looks like it is. Interesting.
kinds of celebrities.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on
Hanging with the
just by thinking
celebs.
about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
All right, okay.
It is said that she was previously affiliated with musician Marilyn Manson and was
Right, okay.
potentially recruiting girls for him. Manson has been accused of
Yikes.
sexual abuse in numerous cases throughout his career. Till
Yeah.
Lindemann is without a doubt the celebrity that shows up the most on Makeva's
Till
Instagram
is like the
account.
Marilyn Manson
Their
of
first photo
Germany,
together was posted in 2016. Since 2019, she seems to be going on tour with Rammstein,
way.
and she even appears in their music video for the song Platz 1 from 2020. In her Instagram bio, Makeba calls herself casting director. According to insider statements, she's not officially employed by the band though, and doesn't actually get paid for any of this. Makeba was also the one that approached German YouTuber Kyla Scheix at a Rammstein concert in Berlin in June 2022. Now, almost exactly 1 year later, Kyla published a video sharing her experiences from the concert and how she ended up at one of these after parties. It's a story that she was going to tell right after it happened last year, but her management at the time told her not to do so, and even told her to take down the Instagram story that she had already uploaded about this. This is normal in the industry, she was told, and that her making a fuss about this would have negative consequences for the person who arranged the tickets for her. They were tickets for the so-called Feuerzone, the fire zone, which is a separated section that's closer to the stage. Kyla, who was 20 years old at the time, went with a female friend who had just turned 18. During intermission, they were approached by Alena Makeba.
I work for Till. I just wanted to ask, it's gonna be so much fun if you want to come to the after party. Und ich war erstmal so,
Oh, that was her impression of Alena. I thought that was her body language. She's like, I work for Till. I just wanted to know if you wanted to go to the...
oh, that's so cool. Where's the party? Is it here? Und sie meinte, yeah, it's right here. It's in the Olympia Stadium. It's right here. It's gonna be a lot of people.
She told Kyla to message her on Instagram after the show to get all of the details. So they went to the meeting point where Alena picked them up and asked them a few more questions.
How old are you? Und dann hat sie gefragt, so, have you ever been to a Rammstein concert before? Are you girls really big Rammstein fans? Und ich habe geantwortet,
for him?
yeah, I mean, I like his music. I'm not like the biggest fan, but like I do like his music. Und da hat sie mir so einen komischen Blick gegeben. Sie
Well,
meinte,
obviously. So are you really, really big fans of Rammstein? Like, are you like super fans? I mean, yeah, I heard his song on on the radio one time, and I thought it was okay.
Okay. War das erste Mal so ein Tick nicht ganz so freundlich aufgesetzt wie davor.
At the time, Kyla and her friends had never heard of the rumors about Till's girls that go around among Rammstein fans. They were under the impression that they were going to the regular after party. And that's where they were led to first. Kyla says that it was a big party with lots of German celebrities, which to them seemed like a really cool event to be invited to. But instead of entering the party and mingling with everyone, they and about 8 other girls were told to wait on the side. She was confused because they were the only guests who didn't have to take a COVID test. Then Alena told them that they were about to meet Till now.
Like, I don't have to meet him. She's, no, it's no problem. You're all gonna meet him. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna party together.
And then they were told to line up behind each other.
Und dann standen wir alle in so einer Reihe aufgereiht. Ein fetter Security-Mann, ich war dann die Letzte in der Reihe, stellt sich hinter mich. Wir sind dann losgelaufen und es wurde gesagt, walk, 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 walk. Okay, wir werden vielleicht zu irgendeinem Tisch gebracht oder so. Wir gehen da lang, werden durch diese Afterparty eskortiert, durch die ganzen Menschen. Und da war so eine fette graue Tür. Der eine Security macht die graue Tür auf und auf einmal finden wir uns in dieser Reihe, wie wir so langlaufen, wie so die 7 Zwerge, Alter. Laufen wir da so rum und da ist einfach so ein Flur. Und gegenüber ist halt noch ein Flur mit so einem Tisch davor und 2 Security-Männern. Digga, das war wirklich wie in einem Film. Und da ging es dann langsam los. Hinter uns wurde die Tür zugemacht. Da standen nochmal Security-Männer vor dieser Tür hinter uns. Da war ich halt schon verwirrt und habe diese Alena halt nochmal gefragt, where are we going? Oh, it's just a little party. It's a more private party with Till, you know. It's gonna be so fun.
They were told that they needed to hand in their phones.
So it's basically like, you go into the party, and it's like, wow, this is such a sick after party. Look at all these people. I think I know that girl. Wait, where are we going? Oh, okay, we'll just follow you. Yeah, sure. Okay, so we'll just wait in here. You okay. Slam, the door slams. I don't know, that's like, I would feel like I was in trouble at that point. I don't know, like, yeah.
And then they entered a small room with 2 black leather sofas and a lot of alcohol. Kyla says that everything happened super quickly. It was only like 1 minute from when they were lined up outside the party to...
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, like, you're not gonna have like a bed. Like, imagine leading them into the room and there's just like a giant bed and handcuffs and condoms. No, that's not gonna work. Instead, there's just sofas. Like, it's just where you can sit and get drunk. and then you can pull the sofa out and it turns into a bed. Look at that, and you won't even remember. Oh my god, I hope not.
When they found themselves in that little room.
Und auf diesen Couches saßen dann Mädchen, so 8 Mädchen, alle so nebeneinander aufgereiht. Manche von denen waren auch wirklich so ein bisschen benommen. Die haben nicht gewirkt, als wären die da.
Ew.
Manche gar nicht. Ich habe die angeguckt und da ist nichts passiert. Also die waren wirklich leer und saßen halt so da auf dieser Couch. Das ist gerade mies creepy. Die ganze Atmosphäre war seltsam. Es war stockstill in diesem Raum. Keines dieser Mädchen hat geredet. Und auf einmal macht's Klick. Und ich denke mir so, Digga, das ist gerade gar nicht gut. Ich bin gerade in einer gar nicht guten Situation. In irgendeinem Raum mit 2 Couches, Alkohol und mit irgendeiner fremden Frau, die die ganze Zeit absichert, dass alles okay ist. Und schon als sie meinen Blick gesehen hat, meinte sie so, yeah, you want something to drink? Tilly's gonna be here soon as well. Like, just have a drink.
That's
Kyla eventually
scary.
went to the bathroom with
That's scary. So like, right as soon as she started looking like, as soon as the girl was like, what's wrong with these girls? Like, these girls, you okay? You look a little, hey, hello. The girl's like, oh, hey, yeah, everything's fine. Why don't you have a drink? That's not, everything is not fine. Yuck.
her friend and 2 other girls who had already attended the pre-party, and one of them said that she was selected to give Till Lindemann a blowjob underneath the stage during intermission, and that at the after party too, he would select his favorite girls. Und was out partying at a club. She just randomly asked her if she'd be interested in Rammstein tickets. Other common parts of the casting process, if you want to call it that, seem to be that girls are asked if they're single, they're asked to send photos of their outfits before the show, they're told that they can't bring any guys with them, and they're often singled out and separated from the people they came to the show with. And from the parties themselves, a lot of the stories.
No way, there's literally screenshots.
Their outfits.
Okay. Do you have a nice outfit for tomorrow? Maybe something black? I would love to see it. How was your day? Can I see it? Can I send it tomorrow? Sure. And makeup. Good night. And then the other person, what's the plan tomorrow? Do you have a picture with a dress or something like this? Because you don't have much pics. I'll send you later. I need to see it. Yeah, okay. Maybe in the mirror and I'll just selfie.
Lindemann destroying.
Okay. Something's wrong. I've heard of many. It wasn't like this before. He smashes everything around him, gets too close to the girls when he's doing it, having sex at the after parties, crazy amounts of drugs. I'm just sad I had to meet him like this. Apparently, he's usually a very nice person. Never meet your idols. Oh, and someone on his team is spiking the girls in the pre-party. So someone else on the fucking Joe. I don't know.
Things like glasses, bottles, or furniture. People mention being offered cocaine.
And then someone else saying, I can remember Elena invited me to take, their grammar is okay because these are like people, I guess they're German females, right? So like sometimes their grammar is like, I can remember Elena inviting me to take cocaine several times. I said no, and also asking me why you don't have sex with him. Not females, German girls, German women. Sorry, that sounded weird. He's a gentleman. Also, one of my best friends has a disease from Till because he hates to use a condom. Like, he hates using condom. But, well, hey, look, I can't even complain. Like, their English is better than my German would be if I were trying to explain that.
And feeling loopy or seeing girls act vastly out of character when they come back from the pre-party. Of those who actually ended up sleeping with Lindemann, some described it as pretty rough and violent. And the custom of a girl meeting him underneath the stage in the middle of the show seems to be common practice.
Wow.
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe where you can do.
Okay.
Now, if you're wondering why these things are just now coming out, if they've been going on for months and years, they aren't. Within the scene and among Rammstein fans, this seems to have been known for a while. The German newspaper Die Welt actually received their first leads on this last fall, and there are lots of old Reddit threads about these parties and how—
No way.
This seems to have been known for a while. The German newspaper Die Welt actually received their first leads on this last fall, and there are lots of old Reddit threads. So, do any of you happen to know who Elena Makiva and the other girls, that's 4 years ago, are actually doing on the tour? I mean, how did they get there? Are they close with the band? Have some facts? I've seen some photos of the backstages as well as their Instagrams. So, by the way, I've seen some cool stuff from the previous concerts, but that wasn't really relevant. About these parties.
Okay, I've been at the Rammstein concert in Berlin. I recognize that there have been a lot of young girls front of the stage. I'm not talking about the Feuer Zone. They stood in front of the Feuerwehr directly at the stage. I would say they're groupies. I thought they were guests at the concert in Berlin, but in the last video from the official Facebook page I saw them again. I'm sure they are there because they're beautiful and stuff, but are they really the same girls? Or are they preferred by Till and somebody from the team chose some of them to stand on the stage? This isn't actually what...
And how to get in.
Flatmate of mine at Till's free party claims the drinks served may have been spiked, as she said she blacked out after the party, and two of her friends who saw them in Cardiff ended up in the hospital. She didn't come back from the show until a day later, so she definitely had a bad alcohol experience despite being able to tolerate it well for her weight. Till is also, several people have corroborated these incidents in previous party threads, rather dangerous when drunk, high, what with his smashing up of the dressing rooms and hitting people with objects he throws around. Okay.
Into them. Der Spiegel also talked to a witness who was part of Rammstein's inner circle from late 2018 to the beginning of 2020. Sophie. Her boyfriend at the time worked for the band and for Lindemann's solo project, so she had access to the band members as well as all of the private areas at concerts. She says that behind the scenes, everyone was talking about these girls being escorted through the stadium and brought to Lindemann. She says they were usually young girls who didn't look older than in their late 20s, and they usually fit into the category of metal/goth girls. Makeva found a lot of them on Instagram, apparently. Last year, Sophie actually ended up at one of these private parties herself. She says that Lindemann first destroyed a vending machine and threw over a table before he asked the girls to start a conga line while the Rammstein song Sex was playing on full blast. That's when she and her friend decided to leave, but the security guards were hesitant to let them go until she explained her personal connection to some of the crew members. Afterwards, she told some people in the crew about what happened, but none of them were surprised. She was told that, quote, the system and why it exists wasn't a secret in the inner crew circle. Everyone knew what was going on, but nobody talked about it openly. Instead, people laughed about it and gossiped about the women that were being invited to these concerts under false pretenses. And an Austrian woman who has worked in the VIP area of Rammstein concerts told the TV channel ORF,
Mädels gesehen, wie sie den VIP-Bereich verlassen haben und habe mir deshalb schon jahrelang ein schlechtes Gewissen.
And then there is Anna Jakina, wife and manager of Peter Tetgren, who is the co-founder and former guitarist of Till Lindemann's side project, Lindemann. He left the band in 2020, but his wife is now showing support for Shelby Lynn underneath one of her Instagram posts. Your story is not the first one. There are more. All have the same line with passing out. I believe you and support you. To Alena's bitches, tried to tell me, probably you know who I am, that she's lying. So I see now Let's is doing Ullmann's job. Great promotion. She's referring to Lindemann's bodyguard, Dani Ullmann here. Alena Makeva, Joe Let's, Dani Ullmann. A lot of different names that all seem to be connected to this system that has been mentioned in so many of these stories. This was also confirmed by German YouTuber Alex Prinz, known as Der dunkle Parabelritter. As a big YouTuber in the German music industry, particularly the metal scene, he met a Russian woman who was close with Rammstein around 2016-2017 and became friends with her. He says that this was not Alena Makeva, it was another woman, but he doesn't want to reveal her name. He says that they became pretty close and would tell each other about their dating life until she ended up recruiting the woman that he was seeing at the time for these Rammstein parties and the inner circle. Alex apparently found out that his date became really close with Lindemann, and he even recognized her in one of his music videos. He says that this woman recruits girls for the band to this day, even though she doesn't make any money with it, but he thinks she's doing it for the status.
That's so
This is
weird,
50
man.
Questions with Jonathan Langdon. Hey, Jonathan, can I ask you 50 questions for OLG's 50th anniversary?
And 7.
Insane.
So there have been a lot of allegations in the last few weeks, a lot of
here.
screenshots of WhatsApp group chats, and statements of alleged victims. But how did Rammstein and Lindemann himself react to this, and have there been any consequences yet? The band has issued 2 statements so far. The first one was published just a few days after Shelby's tweets, where they said, with regard to the allegations circulating on the internet about Vilnius,
Zu dem im Netz kursierenden Vorwürfen zu Vilnius können wir ausschließen, dass sich was behauptet wird in unserem Umfeld zugetragen hat. Shit, I don't understand that. Und sind keine behördlichen Ermittlungen dazu bekannt. Okay, with regards to the allegations circulating in and about Vilnius, we can rule out the possibility that what's being claimed to take place in our environment. What is claimed being? We can rule out the possibility that what is being claimed took place in our environment. We are not aware of any official investigations into this matter. It's hard to read even in English. That was a lot of words.
We can rule out the possibility that what is being claimed took place in our environment. We are not aware of any official investigations into this matter. Then, after more and more allegations had become public, they published this on June 3rd. The publications over the last few days have caused confusion and questions among the public and especially among our fans. The allegations hit us all very hard and we take them extremely seriously. To our fans, we say, it is important to us that you feel comfortable and safe at our shows, in front of and behind the stage. We condemn any kind of transgression and ask you, do not engage in premature judgment of any kind against those who have made allegations. They have a right to their point of view, but we, the band, also have a right. Namely, not to be prematurely judged either. Lindemann's personal attorneys later published their own statement, saying that the media coverage has been imbalanced and unfairly prejudiced. They stated that any claims about Lindemann using roofies or alcohol to numb women with the goal of conducting sexual acts on them are, without exception, untrue, and they started to send out cease and desist letters to people and publications who have made allegations of that nature. Kyla and a lot of other women have already received.
You want my honest opinion, right? Alcohol is like already makes things weird. Okay, alcohol is kind of like, so all right, what is my point? Before I start this, what is the point that I'm trying to make? Shit, now I'm realizing exactly how hard it is to get to the point before I've said it, which is what I think a skill that I need to develop. The point I'm trying to make is basically with alcohol consumption comes alcohol consumption makes it hard for you to have like your story straight. Like it just makes it really like, let's all right. If there wasn't any alcohol, I'm gonna have to do it this way. I'm gonna have to make the paragraph first and then come to the thesis afterward. If there wasn't any alcohol, like in the world, okay, and the only way that you could make a bad decision or forget what happened over the course of a night was if you were drugged or took some serious drugs, then like there's a lot of these cases that just wouldn't happen. And in general, just like even the bars and like how much stuff happens there with people like getting roofied and stuff. If there wasn't, I'm not saying don't drink alcohol, but I'm saying that like if there wasn't alcohol, if that wasn't a thing, then like think about how much more bizarre this would have sounded. Girls go to this thing, this party, this after party, and then they forget what happened, but they think that somebody did some stuff, okay? And a lot of people have that same complaint. It's only because there's also alcohol too that it just feels like, well, they were drinking, so what do we call that? What is that exact thing? Like, but they were drinking after all. It's not like, I don't know. It allows for plausible deniability. That's what it is. Alcohol allows for plausible deniability. If it wasn't involved, then all these things that have happened where the stories are matching, you would have nothing else to point it at except this weird situation. But
received one of those letters. 2 weeks after the outbreak of this controversy, Rammstein actually came to Munich, my hometown, to play their first concerts in Germany on this tour. 4 shows in the sold-out Olympia Stadium on June 7th, 8th, 10th, and 11th. That's about 240,000 tickets total. Right before this, the band officially parted ways with Alena Makeva. She would no longer be allowed at Rammstein concerts, they said. Wow. But as mentioned before, she doesn't seem to be the only person doing this job. Then, during one of the shows, Lindemann actually commented on the whole situation in person for the first time.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Wir hatten ein Riesenglück mit dem angekündigten Unwetter. Glaubt mir, das andere wird auch vorbeiziehen. Vielen Dank.
But until then, the band seems to try to avoid further provocation.
That was like a very interesting way to put it. There's a storm, and and the other thing that's gonna pass also.
They stopped using their big penis cannon on stage, for example, and they've also taken the song Pussy out of the set list. The concerts in Munich were surrounded by a lot of debates. Backstage parties and Row Zero were banned completely, and the city even sent so-called awareness teams to the venue that people could approach if they felt unsafe. There were protests right outside of the stadium, and a lot of people were actually trying to sell their tickets before the shows. Other fans, however, stayed loyal to the band and went to the concert as planned. Some of them said in interviews that they're going to stay neutral until there's actual evidence for or against the allegations. Some said that they don't believe any of it. or that they still enjoy the music either way. As of right now, Rammstein is continuing their tour as planned. In the next few days, they're gonna be in Spain and Portugal, then they'll play Italy, the Netherlands, and Hungary before they return to Germany to play 3 shows in Berlin in mid-July. The city of
So this is another thing that I'm thinking about, just that's coming to mind right now, is that there seems to be very little separation between Rammstein, the band, and Till Lindemann, the person who seems to be doing, or who's being accused of doing these things. That's already an issue, because you can see Till Lindemann now having to address this at his concerts and changing his set list and changing the decorations to try to seem more innocent. It just makes me wonder, like, if this has been gone about the wrong way. I mean, I know, like, that's like, if you're gonna think like, who is Till Lindemann, like, well, he's in Rammstein. So it's like, if people are thinking, and when did it happen? Well, the thing happened at a Rammstein concert. Yeah, okay, I get that, but I'm just wondering, like, for me, because I feel like maybe a lot of other people are doing this in their heads without realizing it. Like, we're thinking about Rammstein is creating the system to get these girls, but it's really like, you know, and okay, so there's 2 more things. There's the fact that some of them are underage and then some of them are not underage, right? But I just want to try thinking about this situation, but remove Rammstein from it. It's just girls going to meet a guy for drinks in a room in his house. Like, what if it was like just everything except it's not a concert, okay? And what they're saying is that he got mad, that this is guy that they went to see, who got mad, started throwing stuff, breaking things, and they were drinking a lot with them, and then he lost track of time. Oh, and there was a bunch of other people there too. So I guess it's weird. It's hard to tease it apart because it's kind of like a cult-like thing because of how many other people are involved in the situation. Like, you have a girl that's reaching out to these girls and asking them to come and hang out with this guy. He has bodyguards and crew members who are involved in setting up the before and after party situation. And then you've got the descriptions of how he was with the girls and all that stuff. Just trying to think of, like, if there's anything that I'm thinking about the wrong way. The only thing I can think of is the fact that I'm still associating him with Rammstein instead of just taking it outside of that context so that it's just a report of, yeah. But it's weird because you can't tease it apart because everyone, it's always about, are you big fans of Rammstein? So then you'll come out, hang out with us and party. It's hard to tease it apart. Like, you're big fans of this guy and his music and what he says in his songs, but that's not it at all. It's just, I mean, they're fans of it, but they're not fans of him because they don't know him.
Berlin announced that they too are going to ban any kinds of after parties. Meanwhile, the media coverage on this topic is in full swing.
So that's the thing. So this is what is weird. They're gonna ban after party. Hold on.
Shows in Berlin in mid-July. The city of Berlin announced that they too are going to ban any kinds of after parties. Meanwhile,
so the city of Berlin is responding to this by banning after parties. Any kind of after parties now. But that's what I mean. Like, I don't know that that's where the separation between, I don't know that that's the right place to draw the line. I mean, it's not the worst situation, like, not the worst decision if you're trying to, like, help people. But yeah, So they have no more after parties. So banned specifically. Can't have girls under the pretense that it's an after party. But of course you can, because it's like you're just a person. You can have a party whenever you want. So that's what I guess I don't understand about that.
While the media coverage on this topic is in full swing. In the last few weeks, the Rammstein controversy has been one of the top headlines in German newspapers, broadcasting, and even German YouTubers such as Rezo, TJ, Ali Joscha, or Kyla Scheiks and der Dunkle Parabelritter, who I mentioned earlier, have used their platforms to bring attention to this. If you do understand German, I highly recommend watching at least Kyla's video, but the other ones as well. And it's no wonder that this topic is getting so much attention. Rammstein has been a cultural phenomenon for almost 30 years. They're one of the biggest German bands of all times and the #1 most successful band making music in German. Ever since these 6 guys from the former GDR formed the band in 1994, they've sold over 20 million albums, they've had countless #1 hits in several countries, and they're known for some of the most spectacular live shows with lots of fire and pyrotechnics. But they've also been provocative from day one. They're known for crossing boundaries, and their use of violence, sex, and Nazi references has caused confusion, disturbance, and a lot of controversies over the years. But as Süddeutsche Zeitung writes, the name of the game has always been, quote, He is not what he writes. He doesn't do what he sings. Only those who understand that understand Rammstein. Now, a lot of people are starting to question the separation between Till Lindemann as a person and his poetic persona. Already controversial pieces such as Lindemann's poem Wenn du schläfst, songs like Platz 1 or Ach so gern, scenes of sexual violence in music videos, and his brand Dr. Dick are suddenly being viewed in a whole different light. Here are a few snippets for you. Ich schlafe gerne mit dir, wenn du schläfst, wenn du dich überhaupt nicht regst. Etwas Rohypnol im Wein.
Okay. Ich schlafe gerne mit dir, wenn du schläfst. Okay, yeah, so like, I get it. Okay, wenn du dich überhaupt nicht regst. Mund ist offen, Augen zu. Der ganze Körper ist in Ruhe. Kann dich überall anfassen. Schlaf gerne mit dir, wenn du traumst. Und genau so soll das sein. So soll das sein. So macht es Spaß. Etwas, oh my god, he said it. Etwas Rohypnol in Wein, etwas Rohypnol ins Glas. Kannst dich gar nicht mehr bewegen und du schläfst. Es ist ein Segen. Yeah, well, he said Rohypnol, so I don't know. Okay.
Etwas Rohypnol ins Glas. Kannst dich gar nicht mehr bewegen und du schläfst. Es ist ein Segen.
Alle Frauen, alles meins. Alles dreht sich nur um mich.
Denn ach so gern habe ich die Frauen geküsst. Und doch nicht immer auf den Mund. Man meint, ich hätte sie gezwungen. Nein, die Wahrheit liegt dazwischen wohl. Und manche hauchte leise Nein. Doch ich kannte kein Erbarmen. Am Ende sollten sie es bereuen.
Insane. What in the world?
And in case you want to see it, I'll link some music videos with disturbing scenes and the Instagram page to the Dr. Dick brand in the info box below. I personally just don't want to show that on my channel. And then, of course, there are videos like Till the End that I came across during my research for this video, but I really wish I had never seen that because of how disturbing it was. Till the End is a song that Lindemann published in 2020 with his side project Natsui, and the video for it can only be described as very rough and disturbing porn. So just a warning in case you decide to watch it. On Instagram, a lot of and the video for this video page to the Dr. Dick brand in the info box below. I personally just don't want to show that on my channel. And then, of course, there are videos like Till the End that I came across during my research for this video, but I really wish I had never seen that because of how disturbing it was. Till the End is a song that Lindemann published in 2020 with his side project Natsui, and the video for it can only be described as very rough and disturbing porn. So just a warning in case you decide to watch it. On Instagram, a lot of fans are expressing their disappointment. It would have been too good to be true to believe that Till is only portraying an artistic figure. He seems to be living his lyrics, and that's why I'm out. I would have loved to see a concert on this tour, but I don't support this kind of behavior in the slightest and will therefore not attend Rammstein shows anymore. Others are saying, please get rid of row 0 and the weird band meetings that have a criteria to get in. It's kind of easy to learn from possible mistakes, you know? Or this one in response to their second public statement, ridiculous statement. It's your responsibility to create a safe environment for all concert goers. As a Rammstein fan, this makes me sad. My values are above my love for your music. Solidarity with the affected women.
All right, so what I get now the reason that they would not have after parties, because it's like it almost seems like a trap. Like you go to this concert and then like you can just kind of like end up at an after party and then that could just go wrong. Interesting.
But upset fans and bad press aren't the only consequences the band has faced so far. A few days after the allegations started, the publishing house Kiwi Verlag, that published both of Lindemann's poetry books, cut all ties with him and spoke about irreversibly shattered trust. One of the reasons being that Lindemann used one of his own poetry books in the Till the End porn video, in a rather unpleasant way. In terms of legal consequences, Shelby Lynn has filed a police report in Lithuania and has
I'm not gonna watch that video, but and I don't think I'm gonna watch any more of this because I get that like I don't think anything more happened, and I don't want to watch all of this girl's video that she worked really hard on the stream if I don't have to, and I don't. But let's see. So she suggested, let's see, Kayla's video. Okay, so I'm gonna just